Well, I kind of really don't know how to start this video, so I'm just going to kind of jump in heads first, or feet first, or whatever you want to call it. Man, I really don't even know how to start this video. Let's start by why I'm doing this video and why I'm making this video is because a lot of times when you work for a company or you have clients out there, they don't understand what happens out in the field. They're in the office, they're on the phones, they're doing all that stuff, but they don't understand the way we do the job out in the field. And sometimes the only feedback that they can get is when something goes wrong. So when an installer, which we are, driver, goes out in the field and does their job perfectly, there's no feedback, because there's no reason for the customer to call and say, oh, this was a fantastic job. The only time a customer will ever call and give praise to a driver is if they had really terrible service up to that point, and it was unexpected that they received this outstanding service that they got, and so they're going to call or they're going to write an email or whatever. But usually it takes an act of Congress to get a customer to call in and say something good about anything. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. It doesn't matter from McDonald's to Microsoft. It doesn't matter from Lowe's to Lockheed Martin. Your company's, whatever company it is, it's going to be rated by its worst reviews. Because they're not going to, the customer's not going to give the best reviews. So they're not going to, well, they may give the best reviews if you ask them, but they're not going to be forthcoming with it. They're going to be forthcoming with problems. They're going to be forthcoming with, complaints. And you may have a driver that does 1,000 jobs, and out of those 1,000 jobs, 999 of them are absolutely perfect. You never hear anything from a customer. But there's one job that you hear from a customer, and then you're like, oh, this driver's terrible. Well, what about those 999 other jobs? I'm not saying that pertains to me. I don't know if it does or not. I'm sure through my tenure of moving or all the other various genres of jobs that I've had customer complaints. I mean, you can't expect everything to go perfectly all the time. You can't have 100%. It's impossible. We're not computers out there. Things will go wrong. But I guess I'm putting this video together because this year I have been videotaping my installs. I've been videotaping the ones that I can videotape and the ones that I've had time to videotape. And I would like to share with you the way we do things, the way drivers do things. And because a lot of people that are sitting there at the main office, or maybe even at Matrix, or maybe even at Woodway, or whatever customers that we have, they do not know the way we do things out on site because they're not there. The only thing that they have to base their, I don't even know the word for it. The only thing that they have to go on is what a customer tells them, what kind of service they had, and they don't know what the driver does. Even the customer doesn't know what we do half the time. I mean, doesn't see it, it doesn't register with them the things that we have to go through. So I slapped something together. I slapped this video together, and I'm gonna probably talk over a little bit of it. And I think this first install is a Bellanova install, and it's one of our reoccurring customers. I'm not going to get into the names or anything like that. It was a Florida install. It was a rainy day. We had already delivered some cardio equipment to this location. It's a brand new location, brand new complex. It's an apartment complex, and we already had delivered cardio. Another driver brought out the cardio and set the cardio up, and I was bringing the strength equipment in. Single door, there's disassembly involved and reassembly involved, and it's raining out, and let's just click into the video and see where we're at, and I'll stop at periodic parts of it and let you know what's going on. So here we go.
All right, that's high enough. Here, yeah, hold this down so it doesn't go down anywhere. I gotta do this too.
Okay. So right here, I'm going to stop the video because I want to address something that you can probably see in the video. This is a new complex, and this is brand new asphalt, even though it probably looks a little crappy in the picture and everything like that. What I did here underneath the lift gate is I laid wood out, because our lift gates, no matter what lift gate you have, it's going to leave marks in the ground. And on brand new asphalt, when you're lowering the lift gates down, they're going to leave marks in the ground. So I put wood underneath the lift gate so it doesn't leave marks in the ground. Little things like that go a long way with a customer, because, you know, I mean, you don't want to leave any evidence that you've been there at the job site. You don't want them to come out and say, oh my gosh, where did these marks come from on the ground? You know, and you know, it does go a long way. Now, will the customer see this? Probably not. But it's something that I do. It's something that I make sure that gets done, especially on new construction. Sometimes the old construction and stuff like that, and the concrete that's all beat up out there, maybe not so much, because we do have nylon rollers on there. But this just, it's one of those things that I do. So let's continue.
All right. Let me put something over top of it so it doesn't get wet.
Yeah, I'm covering it up because I think it's,
okay.
You know, I don't want it to get wet. One thing that you noticed that I did, I know there's a single door. And I'm not going to bring the item off of the truck and take it apart right here in the hallway and then put it through the door. That doesn't make sense to me. This is brand new concrete. All our matrix stuff has a rubber on the bottom of it. If I have to set it down here on the ground and move it around while I'm disassembling it, it's going to leave black marks there on the concrete. So I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm not going to leave any trace of me being here. That's what we do at Schrader Moving and Storage. We try to leave no trace of stuff, and that's what drivers are trained to do. So let's go on.
I don't like that door being exposed, so we might have to put a board or something on that.
See, right there, I was telling my help that I don't like that door right there being exposed, and we do address that after I bring a piece or two in. We put a pad over it, and I put some wood down in this glass because I didn't like that. And over here, you see that I have a door jamb protector on this side.
Let me go reverse. The glass and everything is just like, we need a board.
Okay.
We got some of those little ones.
So you'll notice there, I got neoprene runners running all along the floor because this is brand new flooring, and we're rolling on top of it, and I don't want any marks on the flooring. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put neoprene down, and we're going to make sure that we're not leaving any traces. Again, you know, giving the customer that white glove service that we're telling them that we're going to give them.
We're going to need to bring the carpeting in too. So when we set these, so you're going to have to hold this right here. I got to go get some carpeting for it. So we'll hold this down and go run and get some. Yeah, because I want to put carpet underneath it. I gotta get these position. All right, now come down. Yep.
So right here, I'm putting carpeting underneath this piece. I mean, this floor is a vinyl flooring. It will scratch if you move stuff on it. It will leave marks if you move stuff on it. So I use carpeting flipped over. I use the rough side up and the soft side down, basically.
All right, we got to leave it like that until we bring the piece in.
Let me go back just a hair so you can see. You see all these pads on the floor here, laying over there that looks like a mess. Well, there's stuff sitting on top of those pads. These are the functional trainer pieces. I didn't want to set them on the ground, so we brought pads in and we laid the stuff on top of the pads, so we don't leave any marks on the ground.
All right, we got to leave it like that until we bring the piece in. Yeah. Is this where this is going to go?
Okay. I didn't go through the whole assembly of it. I just wanted to show you here. The piece is assembled, and we're asking Ronald, which is one of our clients' lead guys that comes out and basically foremans the job. Let's go further forward a little bit.
Yeah. Right. You could push it wherever. It's on carpet.
Okay. This over here on the ground, everybody, you can look at it and you're going to go, oh my God, that looks like a nasty scratch. It's one of the other contractors got stuff on our roller out there, on our runners. So when our wheels went across it and came over into here, it just left dirt there, and we cleaned it up before we left the job. We had a blower in there. Actually, Ronald had a blower, and I had a broom, and we were sweeping and cleaned everything up and made it look pretty. But right now, we're going to push this item into place, and we have carpet underneath all corners and every surface that touches the ground. So
down here, because I got to put the functional is going to be right there. Let's just make sure when we push it that it doesn't leave any. $20 at Home Depot, man. I have enough to just leave them at the very end, and we can position them.
Okay, this is going into another job, but I just want to say a couple things about that job. After we were completed with that job and had everything set in place, we had everything sitting on those carpet pads. The client wanted things rearranged again, so we rearranged it. We rearranged everything a couple times, just so the client was happy. And we left everything, after everything was leveled and everything, on the carpet pads. We left it on the carpet pads because he said he wanted it left that way. He wanted everything left on those little carpet pads in case they had to move it around again. And I left those pads. Those pads were my personal pads that I went out and bought and made myself. But I left those pads for him because, you know what? It was seriously $20 at Home Depot that I got that little piece of carpet. I took some time and I cut it and everything and cut all the little squares out. And $20 is nothing to make a customer happy, okay? You know, they asked, he even offered to pay for it. I said no. I said no problem. All right, so now we're getting into a different install. This install here, we're taking in, we have a couple crates of weights, and we have 2 leg presses, one really large leg press, 1,200-pound leg press, and then a smaller one, I think it's like 1,000 pounds. Small elevator too. So it got a little interesting because it almost didn't fit, but let's go through and take a look and see what we had to deal with on this job. Now this is a college campus recreation center. I did not prep the floors out here because I was concerned with running neoprene runners across the floors and having kids running through here and everything and getting tripped up, and because sometimes the neoprene runners don't stay in the position that they stay. And we were only bringing in 2 pieces anyways. So here we go.
Let me measure this. 4 feet. Hold this door.
This is our elevator, and this is how small our elevator is. You can see my help in there with some of the weights.
42 inches. God, that's not good, dude. That's 42 inches by 56 inches.
Oh, and let me just say, there may be a little cursing in this video. You know, they're not right now by me, but not in front of customers either. But there may be a little bit cursing, so you may want to do earmuffs a little bit, because some things don't make me very happy in this video. So towards the end, especially.
42 by 56. All right, and you see how far I'm going to take this apart. It's just going to take a little bit longer today. By 56.
Okay, over here you can see a big crate of weights. These are what we brought our weights in. They were shipped that way. We brought them in with the pallet jack. I will not take a pallet jack inside the business, and I will not take this crate of weights inside the business. Everything will get uncrated outside and brought inside. There's no need for us to be taking in boxes and any kind of debris that's inside. So we uncrated it outside, so all the debris stayed outside. There was no damage to the floors, because who knows what's underneath this crate anyways if we bring it in on the tile floor. So it's just one of those things that you try to avoid any problems. You know, and my favorite saying is, you know, an ounce of prevention, a pound of cure. So that's what we did there. We left it outside, and the gentleman that was working with me, my helper, he actually wheeled them into the elevator, and we wheeled them upstairs and put them in place. This is the piece of machinery that we were supposed to fit in that elevator. Yeah, as you can tell, that machinery is not going to fit in that elevator. I have it flipped up that direction for a specific reason, because I was thinking that maybe I could put the carts underneath it and actually get it in there and fit it in there. But after doing the measurements and everything, I came to the conclusion that there was no way on this earth that thing was going in there. This part of the video I've already had taken it apart. Like I said before, I like taking things apart in the truck as opposed to taking them apart inside. There's less damage to the customer's site, or less chance of damage to the customer's site if you're doing everything inside your trailer. Here I had to use a strap in between the walls to prop this up, because this is still probably an 800-pound piece that's sitting here. I do talk to this piece a little bit as I am loading it up and coaxing it not to move a certain direction. So,
because this bar is like freaking ungodly looking heavy. Double your pleasure, double your fun with it. Move this pad too. Move this pad also.
just not to keep stopping the video and everything, but I try to keep everything on pads too, even though it's in the trailer and it's a wooden floor and this is a metal item. I don't like I don't even like wood and metal to touch, because I'm always afraid that it will rub the paint, rub the finish, rub something the wrong way. So I always try to keep a pad underneath it. And as you'll see in the next portion of this, is I will do that again.
And I know everybody's probably screaming right now, dude, you're underneath the freaking thing. What if it comes down on you? But you know what? That would suck. So I probably shouldn't be underneath that thing. I probably should not be underneath it. Alright. We're going to set this one up right next to it. But butt right there. Don't want that metal against the wood. So that's bam. If I don't like, should be messed up.
Yeah, see. Apologize for the cursing, but nobody's around. That's how I talk. It's a flaw.
I know you're gonna slide up. I know you're gonna slide up. It's alright. It's alright.
So what I did there is I don't have the cart resting on the bars. I have it resting on the slide right there. And I knew it was going to slide up because I positioned it that way. And I positioned it in a way that I don't want the pressure on these, on the rail slides where this portion of it slides. I don't want any chance, and it's probably 1,000,000 to 1 odd that you would actually end up putting any kind of bend in that, but I still don't even like those chances.
It's alright. I knew that was going to slide up. So I can slide you all the way back down. That's cool. Slide you back. Stay there. Man, that's freaking godly heavy. Oh.
Okay, now in this scene, and which is probably clipped out, this elevator was driving me nuts. We didn't have a key to the elevator, and we couldn't block the elevator off or anything. So these doors kept on trying to close on us while we were doing this, which was crazy. And we have some pads on the floor here. We're flipping it up on end. Mind you, this is a heavy piece of machinery that we're fitting in this elevator, and it almost didn't fit. There's nothing else I could take apart on this thing. I mean, this thing is taken down to nothing. And
right, we need the cart still.
And we just got this thing in there. This is a small elevator.
We're going. Oh, got it.
See?
Yep.
The couple things that we like, the pad and everything that we left outside the door, we immediately went downstairs and got after we got upstairs and put this in there. So we didn't leave anything laying in the hallways or anything, just in case you were wondering.
But it's going to even be worse putting it back together. I know. I got another job to do today. It's just one of those. It's one of those days where everything gets pushed because.
What I'm talking there is everything's going to get pushed. Is this job's going to take?
Everything's going to get pushed.
This job's going to take a little bit longer than was expected, and I have actually 2 more jobs to do today, and this one's going to run into what should have probably taken an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to do, is probably going to take 3 to 4 hours to do, because it took me a while to disassemble this item here, and it's going to take me a while to put it back together.
Stuff's a little bit. Okay, get on this side of it. Hold on. All right. All right. I'll get this side. You hold that cart in place. Go inside there. Come on, elevator.
the struggle is real. The struggle is real. Me versus the elevator. See how it just keeps on trying to close on us? It was a lot worse down below.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so now we're bringing the base in.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a pain in the butt doing it that way.
So this base, not fitting in the elevator. We're going old school with it.
What side do you want? Well, we're going up here.
Yep, we're going up the stairs with it.
Out of the way.
I don't even know how much it weighs.
Side.
It's probably only 150 or 200 pounds. I don't know.
We're going to roll it that way? Which way do you want to roll it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
And we came back down and got that cart as soon as we got up.
Household. Let's bring it back, deja vu. With lumped dressers up the stairs. Huh?
Yeah. Maybe we can bring in triples to the second floor. The house has got to be built.
Oh, yeah?
The whole second floor almost now.
Well, we used to love Florida household because there was no second floors. Now they're all building second floors.
Yeah.
I guess we could have brought a four-wheeler up here, but oh well.
So you get a little glimpse of where we're bringing this stuff to. Upstairs, all the way. Actually, it's up in like the gym mezzanine area.
Let's go. Your end's gonna go in. Let's just set it right now.
Alright, this is the other piece of equipment that we had to bring in. It was fully disassembled and I had to reassemble it. I didn't include that in here. There's no need to. Let's just watch kind of finishing touches on the installs.
Can I try to
Still
go?
got to tighten up the other one.
I know. I got to do. Yeah, the seat on that other one. I don't know.
Steven, I think you
I got to torque it yet too.
right.
And I think I brought up the wrong stuff for.
See, that's it.
What's that?
When the red light goes on, that means it's good.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to stop here for a second. What I'm doing there is I'm torquing down all the bolts and everything on this strength piece. We took this piece apart and put it back together, so I'm making sure that all the bolts are tightened to a specific torque amount. Matrix says to torque it down to a certain amount. It's way too high. You'll strip out bolts, so I do it a little bit less than what the specification is. I mean, they're calling for 90 foot-pounds on this stuff, and this stuff will just like, there's no way. So I do it to about 30 foot-pounds on that kind of thing. So like on the functional trainers, when you're doing the top bar, I'll do the top bar to about 60 foot-pounds. But for these type of installs right here, I do it about 30 foot-pounds, because anything more, you're going to strip out the threadings and everything. So that's what I do there. And any kind of installs that we do, even if they're assembled already and they're just being pushed in, every single bolt that's on this gets gone over with that torque wrench, because that's just what you have to do. It's being transported cross country sometimes, so you know, vibration in the truck, you'd be surprised at what unscrews itself. So you got to go over every single thing on here.
Yeah, a couple $100 torque wrench.
Shit, I've seen it.
An elevator. Yeah, but I already took them apart. So they're already apart, and all I have to do is put them in the elevator and put them back together. So this, I didn't know if I was going to need to put them apart or not. Bless you.
What I was doing right there is I don't like spraying the grease directly onto the rods, because then it gets all over the plexiglass and everything, and then it just is a mess to try to clean off. So what I do is I spray the grease onto a rag, and then I wipe the grease onto the rods, and it's so much better like that. One, it will clean the rods at the same time, and then and apply the grease at the same time. So
Yeah, I was like, there's no way.
the gentleman that you saw over there in the red shirt, that was the customer right there, that I was talking to.
When I looked at it, that other one, oh my God. Yeah, I'm gonna clean these up. I'll torque down the other one, clean the other one up, and then you want to wipe this all down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here I'm doing the same thing. I'm spraying grease on a rag and wiping down the.
That's graphite in that puppy, man.
Again, torquing down the items, or torquing down the bolts, torquing.
I already lubed up these bars so you don't wipe the bars down.
Tightening down the seat cushion. I don't torque that down because
Yeah, let me just let me check it real quick. Yeah, I gotta give you a test real quick to make sure that everything's working.
now I've already tested it once, but I just torqued everything down, and I want to make sure that it's tested again. Put weights on it to hold it down while we were actually assembling it, because that will keep the weight down to where everything's going to be in a level position. And like the thing's already 1,000 pounds and needs more weight, but I just do that just because that's what I do.
Yeah, it was fine before, but all right. Just wipe that down, and then we'll start loading up the truck.
All right, right there you've seen what I did. I don't like videotaping people working out, especially when women or girls are working out, because I think it's kind of creepy. So if I'm in a gym or something like that, like when I came to the gym and started doing this install, there wasn't a lot of people there, but it drug on to where people started showing up, and the younger generation was in there, and I cover the camera up when I'm walking through there, because I don't want to come off as this guy's videotaping the people in here kind of thing. So I throw my hand over the camera, It's just a personal thing for me. I got daughters, in which we're coming up into another install here, and one of the people on the screen right there is the daughter and the son. So we're out here at this is the Atlanta Braves training camp, and I'm installing 4 Woodways, 2 Woodway curves and 2 Woodway forefronts. And out here there is no elevator. These Woodways, I think the shipping weight on them is close to 600 pounds. They have to go up stairs with a dead turn that you can see here in the background. That really is not fun. What you see here is it's flipped up on its side. We brought it in on a four-wheel dolly on its side. We keep the electronic side up, of course, and the motor side down. You don't want to mess with any of these gearings or anything like that. It will throw off the calibration of the machine. So we're lifting it now and we're setting it on a reefer cart, an appliance dolly. On this appliance dolly, I have a skin right there, and there's a couple bands down here towards the bottom where they have felt on them already. I still put blue tape on top of that because I don't want to leave any marks. You see these little lips right here on the treadmill. Those will mark up, and you can see those even if the sides are on it. So I want to make sure that no marks get on there, so I have blue tape on there also. Let me go forward just a little bit. There's the four-wheeler that was underneath it.
All right, we got to go down to you a little bit.
All right. So what I'm doing is I'm saying the treadmill's got to go down to my son just a little bit, because I'm going to put a wooden block up here in the front in between the lip of the appliance dolly and the treadmill. I do not want the treadmill sticking out over the lip, and you'll see here in a second.
All right, over to me a little bit.
That's my wife right there helping out.
See, the more stability at the
So I have
So
I have the whole family here today. We were local in town, and I had my son come out, daughter come out, and the wife come out to help me do this install.
Oh my God, dude. Like muscle. Can you hand me that, please? What? Yeah, let's see if we can get all the way to the bottom of it.
Okay, so as you can see right here in this bottom corner, you see that there's a wooden block there, and there's the lip of the appliance dolly. What I did is I took the plastic end caps off this treadmill. That it has plastic end caps on it, and you don't want to put the plastic end caps down here because it will mar them up or anything. It will mar it up if you're not careful. So what I do is I take the plastic end cap off, and inside here is actually a post which these tracks pivot upon. They roll. It's a big roller, and it has a couple of solid posts right there. And I put this 4x4 block in between the casting that holds the post and this corner here. That way, the end of the treadmill does not hit the ground, and it doesn't put any marks or anything. It's the best way to put it on the appliance dolly that I found. And what I'm also doing, the appliance dolly comes with a strap that goes across the middle of the appliance dolly, and it will hold it on there, and it will pretty securely hold it on there, but I don't trust it, so I put 2 extra straps on it, just ounce of prevention, pound of cure kind of thing. So that's what you'll see us doing right here.
And I'll see if I can do this one the same way.
See, there's the block.
No, that's not going to make it around to the bottom.
And you can see right here that the actual lip is a lot further out than this side of the treadmill here.
Ooh. No, because the stupid thing is I'm going to have to do it right to there. Well, it's... Yep.
Alright, this is the worst part of the job. So I have my son and daughter on the other end, and I'm on the top of the appliance dolly. This looks like it's curved. It isn't. It's just my GoPro that makes the treadmill look curved like that. It's like, oh, it looks bent. No, it's not bent. It's just the GoPro that makes it look like that. Because you can see these bars on the ground here. They look bent too, and they're actually not. So this is the worst part of the job. This is our 4th one that we brought up the stairs. The first 2 me and my son carried. They were the curves. They're a lot lighter. We had done one of these prior to this. One of the forefronts prior to this. This is the last one that was coming up. This is, as you can see, this is not an active site. This is actually, we're like the second people to bring stuff in here, so.
Going at your pace. Ready, go. All right, let me lower my grip. All right, go. One more, go. All right.
Now just, you're gonna hear a lot of grunting and groaning, so we got another like 20 steps to go up. Now mind you,
Ready?
my daughter here is CrossFit, Olympic CrossFit, and this is even a struggle for her. Even the wife's helping out.
Go. Ready, go. All right, hold on. You all right?
Good? You want to get that?
Ready, go. 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 4 more. Ready, go. Ready, go. Hold on, regrip. Let me come over a little bit. All right, ready, go. Let me regrip. Ready, go. Up. Hold it. Good job.
Now, I don't even know what to say about that. The struggle is real sometimes, people. I mean, it's not all, oh, we're just going to wheel stuff in and put it in place. We have to do this type of stuff. And this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the weak of heart. This is not for an average freight driver to do. This is an installer's job. This is a rigger's job. This is like, you have to have, this thing is 500 pounds easy. All right. I mean, I think the shipping weight is like 625 on these, and we don't have the top on it. Mind you, each one of these tops that go along with this, we had to carry over a football field. I mean, they weren't wheelable, so I had to put it over my head, and I carried one, and my son and daughter carried the other one, and then I carried the other one, and them two carried one. So, and you'll see here in a minute how far away that we had to park the truck to do this job. And we had to carry that stuff. And I mean, big deal, it's a top. It's probably about 125 pounds. And this is probably 475, 500 pounds. So, and this crew right here busted it out. That is some heavy stuff to be pushing up. So I just had the top part of it. I would like to say that my part was easy, but I think it was just as hard, honestly. All right.
I swear these are crooked.
All right. I keep on stopping it, and I apologize, but this is like, sometimes I'm too anal, all right? And the customer told us, just put them up there. You told us to put the 2 curves where they were and put the other 2 there. They're going to move them anyways. They're going to position them the way they want them. So just set them up there. And even though they said just set them up there, this is what happens. Now, mind you, if you look at the floor to the other side, it's going to be that way. It's going to be that way or that way. Yeah, it's going to be that way. It's all dirty, and it's not from us. It's from the other contractors. The footprints on the floors and stuff like that, that's not from us. That's from the previous contractor. So
this thing's crooked. This thing's got to go over a little bit.
All right, this treadmill has already been running, and it was unplugged. This treadmill I got running right now because I just like to leave them running for a little bit. See that stuff on the ground?
Shit on the floor.
Yeah, see, I'm mentioning it. Again, I know the curves.
I'm telling you, they just don't look right.
The curves are close together because that's the way he wanted them. That's the way he told me to set them up there, so I did. I would have spaced them out a little bit differently, but
yeah, just leave the rag, and I'll take these bars down.
again, mind you, the customer said they're moving these things again, and just to set them up there.
Oh, it's the anality of it, you know? It's like...
Yeah, I know, dude. And I will sit there, and I will not sit there. I will move these things around until I think it's perfectly aligned.
You know what? Go off. Oh, is my eyesight off or is my eyesight on? That looks pretty crisp.
Now, why did I do that? Why did I position those things and make those things look perfect, knowing that they're going to be moved again and they're going to be repositioned, they're going to redo everything? It's because perception is everything in this business. It means when a customer comes up there and he looks at the machines to the left of it and sees that they're not lined up, and he looks and sees that these machines are all placed, they're spaced, they're perfectly lined up and cleaned, and you know, it just looked brand new, and he goes, wow, that really looks nice. It's perception. Will we get thanked for doing it? Probably not. I don't expect to, but I want the customer to walk up and I want them to see, wow. You know, I want the wow factor, and I don't want them to say, oh my God, how did they leave this stuff like that? You know, and you know, it just has to look perfect.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
So mind you, I've checked all these for level already and wanted to make sure that they were level. But these two right here, I moved them a little bit more, so I wanted to make sure that
Plug it in.
they ran level again. I did come back and check the two curves afterwards because I walked away and I was like,
Oh man.
yeah, I'm wiping the bottoms of my shoes too before I got on here and checked these things.
Are we on level?
So I'm running on it to make sure that it's not wobbling around or anything like
And
that.
Not going up to friggin'. It's not going up to infinity speed.
I usually run them to the max speed, but I'm not doing that today. I just ran it to 5. Now, mind you, these things have probably ran for 10 minutes already sitting up there. I usually run them before I put the side plates back on them, make sure that everything's running all right, check the circuit board, make sure that all the connections are tight in there. We're just
push
finishing
this
up.
back there.
We're finishing up now,
And
and
then,
we're finishing up now, and I wanted to include this portion of it so you can understand how sometimes we have to walk a long distance to do our job. Probably I could have, I don't even know, there's no way, there's 100% chance I would never have backed up on the concrete and got up next to this, even though I know that big vehicles have done it. There was no way.
walking the dog, man.
So I'm making sure my camera's still running. I'm actually pulling my pad pile along like I'm walking in my dog. That's why I said walking the dog. So yeah, we carried the top parts. So we carried the tops of those treadmills all this way because they weren't wheelable.
Man, they kick some music here or something, don't they? Well, this is a pre-look at the Atlanta Braves park. Kind of cool, ain't it? We should go run across the field to say I've actually been on the field. Wish it nice just sitting outside.
See, you could see some tire tracks on here from the other vehicles that have been on this area and everything. But there's no way I was backing my semi up onto this area. No way. I'd rather push it or carry it than inflict any damage, leave any tire marks, any chance of cracking any pavement or anything like that. There's no way. Those boards that you saw sitting out there were underneath the lift gate. We had picked them up already. And right here, if you don't like cussing or anything like that, you might want to use earmuffs because I go on a tirade. I really start going off on something. And I included it in here because I wanted you to realize that this is the, you know, as a driver, at Schrader, this is what we're all about. So, not the cussing part, but you'll realize it. And that's my bike. So I brought this bike out. I normally don't carry it with me, but I was in Florida and I had to do an install in Miami, and it was like on the 8th floor of a high-rise down there. And I wanted to get a better look. I wanted to do a site survey on it the night before so I knew what I was into, because if I have an opportunity to go to a place and look at it the day before so I can get a game plan on how I'm going to do the install, it helps me out be more professional. We get site surveys and everything, but a lot of times they're not accurate. So I actually brought my bike out and I rode out to the job site the night before, and I was able to find out a lot more information by going there and figuring out how I was going to accomplish what I needed to do the next day. So it's one thing that we try to do is go out there and do our own site surveys if we have an opportunity to.
I don't know who left all, you know, shit like that. It's going to give us a bad name. You know, whoever did that crap and left all that crap laying there like an asshole. It wasn't me that did it. It wasn't me that left all that shit in the freaking...
Yeah, I'm kind of mad about something. I'm mad about that.
Like, why would you do that? Ugh. And you know what? Look at all these freaking ties. Why would I leave these here? But you know what? I'll get blamed for this shit. I didn't even leave it here. But the thing is, if they see it, just because I'm parked here, they'll say, oh, the frickin' guy that brought the treadmills in must have left all that shit there. And then what happens? Then I get blamed for it, comes back on us. And even if we didn't do it, you know, it's still perception. It's still garbage. I'll still get blamed for it, even though I didn't do it. Even this freaking crap. So I'll pick the shit up. shit up, even though I didn't do it.
Alright, well, that's the end of the video. Let's just move this up here a little bit. God, it looks terrible inside my truck. I have to do an install in the morning, and it's getting kind of late, but I wanted to put this together, and this is just what we're about. I mean, I'm just one driver, and I know that a lot of other drivers work the same way that I do at the company, but, you know, I don't know who's going to watch this. Maybe people at my office, or maybe people at Matrix, maybe people at Woodway, maybe people at Glory Global. It doesn't matter who watches this. I mean, you just need to know that, you know, you can't judge everything on the worst. You know, so if you get a bad review or something like that, it's not every driver. And I don't care what company that you work for, there's always going to be somebody that thinks of what they're doing as a job, thinks of it just as a paycheck and not a profession. But there's going to be guys that think of it as a profession, and are professionals that do their job and go the extra mile and go and, you know, do extra things that they're not even required to do, but they know that it will be a more professional looking job, and it will give the customer a better experience and everything. And that's just what we do. And it's the people that just look at it as a paycheck that bring the rest of the other drivers down. And I'm sorry to say it, but, you know, you got to get rid of them. I mean, if there's other drivers out there or other people in any company that's bringing the rest of the company down, you just got to get rid of them. You got 86 of them. I mean, I was a business owner. I was a manager. I had people that I had to go in 86 just because they weren't up to par. And if for some reason that I'm treating the job like a job and not as a profession, I need to be 86th, because that's just the way it is. I mean, if I'm not out there doing 110%, then I'm in the wrong profession. So, I mean, it's just the way it is. I don't even know how to stress that. I really don't have anything else. I just wanted to give you a glimpse at what you have not seen, because I've done many of install, and I haven't seen any people that I've worked with, you know, that work at my company out there being able to monitor and see what we're doing. It's because they're up in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and most of our installs are not in Waukesha, Wisconsin. You know, we're all out over the country, so I don't think anybody actually had insight or has insight into what actually goes on out here. They say you go and deliver these two leg presses to this college campus, and they're like, oh, and there's an elevator. Okay, so we get out there, and it's like, whoa, nothing's going to fit in this elevator. I got to totally disassemble everything down, and maybe that's not even going to fit in the elevator. And, you know, we scheduled a couple more jobs that day, and then because that job went long, it pushes the other jobs, and then, you know, we're fighting in such a short window anyways, you know, when we do these jobs. You know, I mean, customers don't want deliveries past 4 o'clock, and customers don't want deliveries before 8 o'clock, and you're like, well, how are you supposed to do a 5-hour install, drive 3 hours, and then do your next one? It's impossible. And you got to piece the customer, so it pushes a day or something like that, and then it's just, you know, it spirals downhill. You know, one install goes crazy bad, and spirals downhill, and, you know, you try to make everybody happy, but sometimes you can't. You know, and that's where you know, maybe a negative review comes in, because the customer, you know, wasn't happy with something, and you will never hear from a happy customer. Sometimes, well, you know, maybe there's that 1 in a million shot that a happy customer will be like, hey, they did a great job, you know, whatever. But for the most part, you're rating your employees off of negativity. And I hope this video will let you know that not You just can't do it. I mean, I'm not the only driver in the company that works this way. You know, what do we have, like 200 drivers at Schrader or somewhere up there? I'm not the only one that works this way. You know, I probably like 90% of the guys work this way. Maybe you got like 10%. I always say that 90% of all problems come from 10% of the people. You know, that spans out to everything. 90% of the problems with customers come from 10% of them. Unless that 10% of the customers create 90% of your revenue, well, then you know what to do with them. The same with same with drivers. You know, 90% of the problems will come from 10% of the drivers, and if those 10% of the drivers are not creating 90% of the revenue for the company, well, you know what to do with them. So I mean, that's just what you got to do. Again, I hope this video was a little bit informative to what we actually do out there, and I'm sorry I was so long-winded with it. It's been like 1 hour. It's like a conference call. All right, thanks. Bye.